The Toddcast podcast. Well, it's been a while.
It has been a while. Yeah. I went back and had a look, and that was, of course, when you were in Five Finger Death Punch, and that
Yeah.
was September of 2015.
Wow, really, eh?
Dude, almost 9 years, man.
Wow.
It has been a while, yeah. And I think, well, at that time, Five Finger had just released the album, went to number two, and like The Weekend was the band that kicked you guys out of the spot, and of course, like, dude, Jason, so much has happened
Yeah.
since then. Of course, you're no longer in Five Finger Death Punch.
Are we already rolling?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't really generally. Hi
Have a start and
everyone. We
stop?
have Jason Hook from Flat Black here joining us now. Of course, you'd know Jason from being in Five Finger Death Punch, but um, s- uh, before we get to your band, and you've talked about this, extensively, I guess, over the years or in interviews since leaving. But how hard was that for you to go like, okay, I'm going to leave a proven winning band and start something on my own?
How hard was it?
Yeah, like the decision, like where you're like,
Um, yeah, at the point where it happened, it was actually, I think it was time,
yeah,
on both sides. Uh, on both sides. Yeah, I was, um, I was, there was problems. There were problems, and I'm a leader, and there's a few leaders in that camp, and I felt the urge to, lead without my hands tied behind my back,
hmm.
and so it was just it got to a point where it wasn't working for me anymore.
And how much of that was like just looking for a new challenge?
Well, I'm always looking for a new challenge, but the thing is, we work so hard to get to that level of success. It's kind of like I'm also not delusional. It's that you can't just keep creating that. That's like a once in a lifetime thing. And with that kind of a thing, you would, work very hard and get to that level, and then it's sort of just like on a maintenance program. And so the heavy lifting had already been done. But again, I just reached a point where I sort of want to have control over the things I was doing, and so it was time for me.
Okay, so walk us through, because you found a crushing band, dude. Like, walk us through the process of finding these guys. Like, did you know the guys in Flat Black before, or was it?
Hmm.
How'd you find this band? Because, like, dude, I've been listening to this album for the last 5 days. It's fucking crushing, bro.
Nice.
Crushing.
Do you have the whole record or just some
Yeah, I
of
got
it?
the whole thing from your PR team. Yeah, I got
That's awesome.
the whole thing. It's start to finish, man. Honestly don't know which is my favorite song.
That's great.
It's so good.
Um, it's this is special for me because I've only spoken to a handful of people doing this type of album press, and
Mm.
so this is the first time, like you and a handful of others, this is the first time I've been able to get a reaction from the whole record. No one's heard it up till now.
Really?
Yeah, it's been under wrap. I mean, this record was finished in December of 22. No, is that right? Yeah, it was
Why
finished
the
December of 2022. I finished this record.
why the wait then?
Well, because we didn't have anything. I just had a record. I had no manager, no agent, no record label, nothing.
Oh,
I financed the record and we did it ourselves. I co-produced it. I mean, we just did. I know what to do in that department. I've been through it enough times, and I've practiced it enough times where I thought I have a clear vision of what kind of record I want to make.
mm.
Um, but I didn't have any outside help, you know. Um, so the record was done, and then from there we were looking for management, got hooked up with this great fellow from Shelter Music Group, and then from there he's like, let's shop it around, take some meetings. That all that takes 5, 6 months, sign the deal.
Mm, mm.
You know, so there's it just takes time to get filtered into the system. But that's okay. What's not new for me is new for everyone else,
I
and
was
that's
just gonna
fine.
say that. Funny you say that because like it's brand new for me, man. Like everybody's gonna
Right.
hear it. It's gonna be brand new to them. So where do you find Wes? Where do you find Rob, Nicholas? Like where do you like is it just they're in your circle of friends or what is that?
Well, the first thing I do when I'm trying to get something done is I sort of alert the inner circle. So anyone that I know that's in the business that's a friend, I kind of put the word out. This is what I'm trying to do. This is who I'm looking for, yada, yada, yada. And it's amazing how many people will step up and try to help in that department. And I just started getting names, and it usually starts with, okay, let me check it out. Go to Instagram, look at the guys' profiles,
Yeah.
check it out. Send a direct message. Hey, it's me from so and so. I'm trying to do a thing, and are
Mhm.
you interested? Blah blah blah. I went through a couple of years of that, you know.
Mm.
But like I'm super picky, and flat black is super important to me. So I wanted to take my time and make sure that I fill these slots with Gretzky's, I call them. They'll
Sure.
appreciate
Yeah, well, being a
they'll
Canadian kid,
appreciate
of
that.
course, I hear you calling them Gretzky's. I love that. Well, and the thing is, I think Jason is, there's an expectation of, people know you from Five Finger Death Punch, and there's an expectation of what you're going to release as an artist. And uh, home run,
Uh,
home run.
yeah, well, really, thank you. That's amazing. I'm I'm extremely picky, to the point where I drive people nuts, and I know that. Um, but I'm kind of a quality snob, so I never settle, and I have very high standards, I guess.
Mm,
So I didn't really care how long it took. I had a vision in my mind of what it was going to sound like and who I needed for the slots, and I didn't really care how long it took because I knew that, being patient, like if you're trying to build something special, don't rush it. And first impressions are so important, especially like you mentioned, coming from a big situation. I think the mistake a lot of guys make is they ditch their big situation and then think, well, I'll just do what I always do, and I'll come out 6 weeks from now and it'll be this right where I left off.
mm.
That rarely happens, you know.
And what did you bring from Five Fingers World into Flat Blacks?
A lot of PTSD.
Yeah, no doubt.
Don't bring that.
That's funny. Uh,
What did I bring?
but
Well, just look, I learned a lot from being in that band.
sure.
And I also learned a lot from interacting with an enormous fan base. And so you write stuff, you play it live, you kind of get a sense of like, okay, I see what works, I see what you need, how to get it done, what grabs the people. You just take all that data in over a long period of time. And so when it was time to do Flat Black, it was like, okay, I sort of figured out what it takes and what it requires. And so, I just put it all to work.
Yeah. And nice to be able to self-produce that or co-produce that as well too. So you're kind of still fingers in the pie, right? Like it's the way to go.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of a studio rat anyway,
Yeah.
and I have a whole pro studio in my house, and so and I just learned as was I just would practice this stuff. I always do, and always have. So I figured, it's time now.
Mhm.
You know.
And what's that like when you're in studio making the album, beyond the music that's being made, like, do you have friends stop by to play them songs, kind of see
Oh
what's going
yeah.
on, or like do you have the Stanley Cup finals or is there TV on and there's some UFC fights? Like what's it like
No.
in studio with you?
Well, I was working with this guy, Chris Collier, who has produced the last couple Corn records. and he just moved. He's a friend. He just moved to Vegas coincidentally. I said, great, you can come over and help me.
Nice.
And so we were just on a schedule. Like it was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're just gonna like shut the phones off, and we're just gonna, invent things. And I would have my little iPhone and be like, here's a couple of things I was fucking around with yesterday. Let's work it up. And he's so good with the computer that it allowed me for once not to have to engineer myself, which is painful. He's at the station working the computer, and I'm just throwing out ideas, and we're tracking. And it was great for me to get out of my own head, or get out of my own way, and just play guitar.
Hmm. And the last time we spoke, Jason, you talked about your love of Kiss and especially Ace Frehley, which I think that truly, if you talk to any rock guy, they almost echo the same thing. And of course, you look at Kiss and there's two guitarists. Was there ever talk of two guitarists in Flat Black, or were you like, no, fuck that, this is my baby, this is you? You hear the riffs, you're gonna know it's me.
Well, I'll start by saying that, there is a good amount of power that comes from two guitarists.
Yeah.
I get that, I understand that, but my background and my favorite bands all had one guitar player. And I've been in more bands where I was the only guitar player than I have been in bands where I was with another guitar player. And I just I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I think that if you can approach the music as if it's a one performance all the way through, it's very much like Pantera or Van Halen, or like I could go on, like all Ozzy Osbourne's lineups, one guitar player.
Hmm.
And it's not like he suffered in any way because of it, but you have to be confident and enough as a guitarist to hold that slot, you know, which is kind of what I like. I like taking up a lot of space, and I feel like I have the confidence to be the only guitar player. I was the only guitar player in Vince Neil's band. I mean, I think it's awesome.
Hmm. And I bet you if we were to get a hold of your phone, there would be like what 1,200 riff ideas and
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, all through my life, every band I put together, I was always the only guitar player. So that's actually more familiar territory for me.
hmm, hmm.
Yeah.
To the live stuff of Flat Black. Like, what was that first show like with the guys?
Horrifying.
No shit.
Absolutely horrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of course at that point there's probably like set it up right. There's management, there's agents, there's everything
Yeah.
else, all rock stars and musicians, your buddies and all that shit.
Well, the thing is, we really hadn't done a lot of playing together as a band, you know.
Mm,
Um, Certainly I had played with Rob and Nick, working on music and stuff. But when it all came to like putting the whole thing together where we're all singing background vocals and there's a set, and I mean, we had never really done that, you know. And the Godsmack tour just fell in our laps, and we were like, holy shit, this is a great opportunity, but we better get ourselves up to speed quickly.
yeah.
So we had to shift gears and put all of our focus and attention into like, how do we come off as a polished band, having never played together before.
Especially opening for Godsmack. Like,
Right, exactly.
talk about a
So
band that is absolutely pummeling.
yeah, pummeling, and have been doing it for a very long time. So, but to make it 1 degree scarier, first show was in Irvine, which is essentially Los Angeles, which means that the label that just signed us, they're all coming. The marketing department, they're all coming. William Morris, the agent, they're coming. Management, all them, they're coming. Publicists, they're coming. And so, like, it's the absolute worst scenario because you're going to stumble.
Yeah,
It takes a minute to establish your footing. So, but
that's
you know what?
definitely it.
Just
With
push
the
through.
sink or swim.
Yeah, you push through. What the hell? Okay, we're gonna live through this. And then the second show was Las Vegas, which is a hometown show, which is
Right.
again
Now you get the Churko boys are out, and
Everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, you're like grandma and grandpa, the fucking trainer, the tattoo guy, the gardener. I mean, it's like, you know,
yeah,
it's this whole thing all over again. So the first two shows were like, whew, you know,
that's pretty awesome. What's the album called again?
dark side of the brain.
Dark Side of the Brain. That's right. So it's July 19th,
Yeah.
and It's Okay to Be Angry
Mhm.
starts the album. Is this fair to say this is a COVID song?
Um,
Pandemic related?
um, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Interesting.
The
Because that's
COVID
what
the
I that's
COVID
what
song was there's a song on the album called A Bit of Lightning.
oh dude, that might be my favorite.
Okay.
Just huge riff, nice and airy, great vocals. It is a clear number one smash. Mark my words, that's going number one.
Interesting. My wife's here. She's like, I'll put $100 down on
Tell
it.
her I'm in.
Well, I think honestly, I think Lightning was a big reason why we got signed sight unseen. They just said, we'll take it, you know. They identified that as a standout track and an important track. And here's a side note. I just recorded an acoustic version of that with the guys um, that will hopefully come out at some point.
Cool.
Uh, yeah, but you know, what can I say? Everything's been really good so far.
Yeah. Was it tough to decide like the set list or the track list, I guess, of the album? Like when you got all these
Oh yeah.
great songs, you of course want to start the record with something that's undeniably catchy, which you did. But you could have literally gone with Home. You could have gone with Unwanted, Sideways. So
It's so
how
weird
do
to
you
hear
decide
you.
on what you went with?
It's so weird to hear anyone repeating the titles. Keep in mind that I'm the only one who's heard this for so long.
Right.
But you know, the four of us sort of had our I note on the phone going, you know, like a shared and like, what about this? What about this? Oh, we should put that second. Nah, fuck it. No, let's put that second. And then, oh, we don't want to we don't want to step down too quickly into some of the lightning type songs. So we
Yeah.
need sort of like an interim song that break us down. I mean, there's a whole science there, but the net is it's people do playlists. So they're going to pull their favorite songs and they're going to put it on their gym list or their whatever hike list or whatever. So, I mean, the running order, I don't know if that's as important nowadays as it used to be. But being an old school kind of guy, I did want it to have a flow.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got a great flow. Where do you like? I don't want to ask you like what's your favorite song because that's fucking stupid. But like, like where do you put Home in the mix? Like, where has that been received? For me, again, that's another really big song, man. Really big
Well,
song.
well, thanks. You're not the first one to identify those two songs,
Yeah.
and I think that my prediction is that those two are going to be two big songs. Like we haven't released any singles yet. So everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "All those songs that are up on Spotify, they're album tracks.
Mhm.
They're, you know, filler."
Like the Justice and
Yeah. Yeah.
Sideways isn't filler. Come on, give me a break.
No,
You're
no,
fucking
but I
crazy.
mean,
Dude,
no.
the bridge and Sideways. You're a
Yeah.
fucking bad boy, Jason Hook.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's amazing, man. And you got some great riffs, man. You got some great riffs.
Well, thank you. And
Uh,
when I mean, I'm being flippant when I say filler, but here's the thing: like we wrote 30 or 40 songs for the record, so yeah, there's a
wow.
ton of leftover stuff. So it was all whittled down to 14 songs that we thought could sound like singles. But you're not going to release nothing to some to commercial radio, you know?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. Like, clearly, you know, Corey Taylor, Slipknot, Stone Sour. He's helps vocals on that track.
Yeah.
Was it just a matter of like, hey, Corey, you want to jump in the studio? And he's like, fuck yeah, bro, I'm in.
He offered to help. So back in 2020 when I was like lost and didn't know what was going to happen and didn't know what to do, didn't have anyone to help me, didn't have anyone to work with. It's amazing how many people, like as soon as you're not in the cool band, how many people are kind of like, you know, I don't know, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah, you probably know it's interesting that you see the people that you didn't know were in your corner as well. Like I found that when I got let go from the afternoon show at the rock station here in Vancouver and just started up this podcast. I'm 10 years in now, but when I initially jumped ship from radio to go to podcast, like I was like, "Oh, really? Fuck, that guy's not in my corner? That guy is in
Yeah.
my corner?" I had no
Oh
idea.
yeah.
It's
I
probably got to be the
expected,
same, right?
I expected some of that, but
Yeah.
there was a little bit of reality check. Like, okay, well, I'm not that important now, but that's fine. It's
Yeah.
how I feel about me here. That's all
Oh,
that
totally.
matters. And so I've been up and down in this business a lot of times, and you just have to remember that that's just the way it is right now. So work your way back out of it. But going back to Corey, um, I met him, like I was working with his producer in Los Angeles, just messing around with some music with Jay Rustin, and all of a sudden Corey and I are texting back and forth, and he said, what's your plan? What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I'm going to try to put a band together, make a record." And I said, "But I don't have anyone, and there's nobody I'm working with right now." I said, "Well, listen, send me everything you got, and I'll help you. You
Hmm.
know, I'll help you." So, I mean, what can I say? He's just a really cool dude.
Yeah, I've heard he's amazing. Like just a
Amazing.
sweetheart.
Just yeah, just a really fantastic human being, and really helped me, not just with music, but my spirit. At that time, nobody wanted to touch me, and I couldn't get anyone really to get on board with this idea, and here's this guy saying, "I'll help you, no problem." So it kind of was made me like, fuck it, okay, all right, cool, this is, now I feel juiced,
Mhm.
really lifted my spirit. And I'll be forever grateful for that, for him.
Mm. Like a Slipknot. It's fucking Corey Taylor, man.
Lives 5 minutes down the street from me. And
That's incredible.
yeah, and what can I say? Probably the most talented guy I've ever worked with. He just shits out greatness, and I hope he sees that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the quote I'll use.
Yeah.
I noticed you have a guitar in your hand. Did you want to rip a couple riffs for us, or what are you thinking?
No, this one is all out of tune. I just
Oh,
picked it up. I got to fix it up.
yeah, yeah. I've been playing your album fairly intensely in the last few days, man. I'm pretty fucking ripped for you guys. Pretty excited, man. You're less than you're 3 weeks away, I guess, now from the release, huh?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really don't know what to expect. I don't obviously don't have a fresh perspective on this. So it's, you do your best and you throw it out there, and it's up to the rest of the world to decide. You can't make people like it. All you can do is, put your skill set to work and just try to do your best. And so it's very exciting for me to have guys like yourself hear it for the first time and go, "Wow, this is something."
It's really good. Yeah. Like and like you say, you have that big there's just a huge following of the Five Finger that people know you and they're gonna listen. They'll
Mm.
give you a chance. And believe me, man, your fucking band is Flat Black is gonna take off, man. I wrote a story on my website and
Oh wow.
posted the videos that you had and stuff, and that the fact that I was gonna talk to you, I hadn't talked to you for almost 10 years. And basically it said like, this is the next big band, man. Like the riffs on
Wow.
this record, the songs on this record. I mean, there's I did radio for 20 years in Vancouver.
Ah, so you understand.
So I understand, man. Like I know when songs are when they're right and when they're like, they're okay. You got like smash hits on your hands, dude. Like at least 3, 4 big songs, man.
Well, listen, I'm being a twerp, but I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Because I love radio. I grew up on radio. I love big, juicy arena rock songs.
right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like Ghost has big, juicy arena rock songs. They don't
Yeah.
follow, they're not trying to copy anybody. What they do is what they do. But being original made them sort of go around everyone else that's trying to copy the octane formula.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny, Ghost almost it almost reminds me of like a modern day ABBA.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun.
Fun music.
Fun.
Yeah.
About Satan.
Exactly. Fun. And
It's satanic fun.
you grew up in Toronto, right?
Yeah. Yeah, eh?
Eh? You grew up in Toronto, eh?
I did, eh?
Right on.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all about, I like big. I like big stuff.
It's fairly obvious
The bigger the better.
with the
Yeah.
songs. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, I like big
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, I'm into majorities and I like the masses, and I want to be able to step on stage and play stuff that, like, we were playing Lightning last fall on the Godsmack tour, and you could just tell, the lighters all come up. Everyone's like, that's, I love that song in the
Yeah,
meet,
song.
So you just like, it kind of reminds me of back in the bar band days where you had to write something that was easily digestible and fun and catchy because there's no internet or anything. All you had is you're going to play Saturday night, and whatever they saw, you want them to come back next Saturday.
Hmm. Hmm.
The bars.
Hmm.
I think the same fundamentals apply.
Yeah, I agree. Like I will eat my words if a bit of lightning is not number one.
Interesting. Well, I wish I have nothing to say other than let's hope.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started taking music serious?
Oh, well, I started playing guitar when I was 6.
Oh wow.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am,
Hmm.
but it was a very long time ago.
Hmm.
And uh
Like were
and
your parents playing and shit? Like what got you into that? Like was it
no,
passed
honestly,
down or?
this is a true story. My next door neighbor rang my doorbell one night at 9:30 p.m. and I opened the door and he goes, "Take these Kiss records. My mom won't let me have them."
Oh
And
yeah.
so I closed the door. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And I just sat there for days and days and days looking at the Kiss records, looking at and listening to the songs. And I was like, it was just overwhelming. I was like, I want to do this. I like the idea of this. This is good. This suits me.
Opening up the
Yeah.
live album,
Yeah,
big
exactly.
footage like
Well,
that looks yeah.
I thought the music was a phenomenal, like that Destroyer record just kicked my ass. I was like, this is fucking powerful and cool, and I
Totally.
love it. I love it.
I
I
do
got
remember as a kid, like I had to hide the record
Yeah.
player. I had to hide the fact that I was playing Kiss from my parents.
Yeah. Well, it was scary stuff back then.
Well, even
You
I
know,
think about what they were like, oh, it's nights in certain Satan services or whatever the fuck they were
right,
saying. Like, really?
right.
Come on.
But
Come
that's
on.
what kids gravitate towards, like something with a little danger.
It's funny, like Kiss almost had like a social media presence before social media even existed,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, look, you don't have to love Kiss. You just have to understand why it worked. That's when I said people go, fucking Kiss. Are you kidding me? I'm like, you don't have to like Kiss,
right.
but you definitely can appreciate why it worked.
Yeah, one of the biggest rock bands ever. Arguably one of the biggest.
Oh yeah. I was at both nights, the final shows in Madison Square Garden. I bought tickets for both nights, fucking spent a bunch of money, stayed in the city for the weekend. It was the best weekend of my whole life. I mean, there was Kiss everywhere. I went to the museums filled with Kiss fans, Starbucks filled with Kiss fans, anywhere. It was like this magical weekend takeover. And I'm sitting in the stands crying my eyes out, watching them, and like no one can talk to me. I'm like, no, 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 no. Like I'm in it, you know?
And
It's
were you like everybody else, like wishing that Peter would be in the final parts and Ace would be in the final part? Like, did you care about that stuff or no?
no. No, I understand. I understand Gene and Paul's perspective.
Yeah.
having sort of being in the same boat as far as having things under control and run professionally and reliably and all that stuff. I understand it from their perspective. And and I think that Ace sort of shat the bed right at the very last second with Paul. If there was any hope of that happening, he shat the bed right before it with Paul.
With the release and he started shit talking and stuff.
Yeah, they he got it. Ace got his nose all bent out of shape because on Howard Stern they took a shot at Ace and they were laughing and so
Oh,
Ace
might
got
as well call it piss. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Ace got his nose all bent out of shape and started issuing public threats. I'll ruin your career and blah blah blah. And Paul calls him up and says, "Fuck you."
Right.
That's it. You're not coming out for
Tough to
anything.
mend that fence.
Enough. Like enough. Like you're friends, you're not friends. You're speaking, you're doing things together, then you're not. I mean, it's just like relax. Everyone just needs to stop.
Yeah,
Those guys. I think those guys sealed their own fate.
probably right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge. That Kiss is a mega business, so you can't fuck around,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And
What do you think of the avatars?
I'm all for it.
Oh yeah,
Look, they're 70 something years old. Like you got to cut them some slack, right? Like you dedicate your entire life to globetrotting to touch people's hearts. And eventually at some point you go, well, what about my heart? I got to have we got to move on and do something that's, have a little bit of life left. And the
yeah,
avatars, to me, it's just pure entertainment. I love it. So what in whatever shape, form, smell, size, color, I don't care.
yeah. Well, there was the talk of like just outright changing players and continuing with other
That
players,
would have been a little. That would
which
have been a little
really
rough.
kind of like I don't know, like
That would have been a little hard sell, I think.
I think so too. Because now what you got to like impersonate Gene Simmons? You're going to pretend to be Paul Stanley? Like it's not going to
I
sound
think.
like Kiss then. It sound
I
like a
think
cover band.
right, and I think that part of the reason why they were so important to people is because they let their personalities leak into the public. So people became fans of them as people. You know,
Hmm.
like look up to them as people, as pioneers, as hard workers and inspiring guys.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so you can't just put somebody in the jumpsuit and go and bounce around. It's not about that. It's about your heroes are those guys, including the music.
Yeah, yeah. Jason, the last time we talked, you'd said that that Five Finger Death Punch's album sales was your career highlight. Is that still the same today?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, look, Flat Black's too early to name as a highlight. I certainly feel like it's positioned well.
yeah,
It hasn't really had a chance to perform yet. And like, make no mistake, I mean, I worked really hard on that band and I'm proud of it. I've got a lot of gold and silver dots on my wall that reflect the hard work. And so I'm proud of that, and I feel like I'm attached to those songs. I worked very hard on them, and I'm not saying it's a solo effort. It's not, it was a band effort. And but I felt very attached to that music. It's actually hard to kind of feel like I'm never going to play that stuff again. There's like albums and albums and albums worth of effort.
and
Um,
like number one songs multiple times over, and
yeah.
yeah,
And, I can't go out and play all that stuff that I worked on. I mean, we can play anything we want. And certainly Rex, my singer, he can sing all that stuff. And I think what we're going to do is we're probably just going to rotate Death Punch songs in and out, and we'll learn like 25, 30 of them. So you'll never know which one you're going to get. We'll do some
it's
deep,
the wheel of
yeah, yeah. Like we'll do some deep cuts where people are like, oh my God, they play My Nemesis, or they play, whatever, Wrecking Ball, or, like we'll figure out
yeah,
because they won't. you know, they stick to the core set, but for us, it'll just be like a fun moment where we can switch it up.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. That is
Yeah.
pretty fun. What's the rest of the of your year looking like with Flat Black?
Well, touring. I want to be as busy as we can be. I mean, there's been a lot of sitting around and waiting, and I hate that. So if I have it my way, we'll be out there with the people. It's really, you know, it's showbiz. It's no good without an audience. You
Truly,
know,
right?
I'd much rather be out there meeting people than you know, than sitting here waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a record on your hands like you do, right? So you're 3 weeks away from dropping a bomb on everyone, dude.
Well, you know, I'm flattered. I'm
Yeah.
flattered.
It's pretty special. It's a great album. Really looking forward to seeing the ripples you make with this Flat
Me
Black.
too. I'm trying to keep my expectations at a reasonable level. I think that, like I said, I don't know. If I set my expectations too high, then maybe you'll get disappointed. I don't like that. So I'm just sort of letting, like, it's out of my hands. I did what I did. It's out of my hands. It's going to do what it's going to do. And, you know, time to make another one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully I don't pump up your tires too much and you can fucking leave the house tonight here, buddy. Because I
No. Look, I appreciate I appreciate the kind words because I really don't know anymore. I'm too close to the forest to see the trees. You know, I
yeah,
don't know. I mean, I thought it was good when it was finished in December of 2022. I thought, oh, this is special. But now it's hard for me to. I can't tell. You know.
yeah. Well, you got a beauty. You got a beauty on your hands, buddy.
Thank you, bro.
I'm gonna respect your time, and I'm gonna let you go here, Jason. I could fucking shoot the shit and chew your ear off for the next
Well,
couple of
let's
hours.
do
But
another one in a
yeah,
few
yeah,
months.
let's do
No
that
problem.
when lightning goes number one. I'll poke you.
Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
buddy. So
Thank you.
thanks for doing this. Your new band, well, I guess not new to you, but new band for us, Flat Black on Instagram. You are Jason Hook on Instagram,
Yeah.
and flatblackmusic.com is the official website, has all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Jason. Well, thanks again, dude. Thanks for doing this fantastic record, dude. The debut from Flat Black is blowing my mind. In fact, I'm gonna probably play it as soon as I'm off with you here. So
Sick. All right. Well,
we'll,
I
we'll tag.
appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. We'll tag you when we're chucking the stuff around, and we'll see you online.
Thanks, buddy.